The S-300 air defense system, which China spent a lot of money to introduce in those years, has really been reduced to obsolete goods in the smoke of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. When social media is filled with images of the wreckage of the Russian S-300 being destroyed, and when Armenia's S-300 was easily hunted down by drones in the NK conflict, has this sophisticated equipment, which was once known as the fortress of the air, really lost its value of existence in modern warfare. The S-300 air defense system, which China spent a huge amount of money to introduce in those years, has sparked widespread controversy over its performance in the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the NK war. But behind this is a revolution in the perception of the value of air defense systems. When the social media hotly discusses that the S-300's combat results are not as good as those of the man-portable Stinger missile, beneath the surface lies the reconstruction of the rules of modern air warfare, the deep game of technological iteration, and the strategic wisdom of China's air defense force construction. S-300 and Stinger missile comparison. The essence of strategic deterrence and tactical interception of the misplaced counterparts. S-300 is a regional air defense system. Its core value is to build a 200-kilometer radius, no-fly zone, through the radar network to form an air surveillance network, forcing the enemy to give up the plan of high-altitude raids. Russia and Ukraine on the battlefield. It is the deployment of Ukraine's S-300 system to force the Russian Su-34 fighters to use low-altitude surprise defense tactics, the objective for the Stinger missiles to create a hunting window. This invisible deterrent in the Naka conflict also appeared, although Azerbaijan destroyed 6 sets of S-300, but never dared to use manned warplanes to implement high-altitude precision strikes, relying only on drones and missiles to carry out a war of attrition. This strategic value has been verified in reverse on the Syrian battlefield. The Israeli Air Force, through long-term electronic reconnaissance, accurately grasps the characteristics of the S-300 radar band, and combines F-35 stealth fighters with electronic jamming, means to make the Syrian air defense system virtually useless. But in 2019, the Russian army will S-300 and Beach armor system mixed deployment successfully constructed a ladder air defense network, a single interception of more than 30 cruise missiles, confirming the key role of systematic use. It can be seen that the effectiveness of a single piece of equipment needs to be placed in the combat system to assess, as China will be S-300 in the Red Flag series mixed. The formation of complementary high and low air defense network. The S-300's design DNA is derived from the late Cold War air warfare model, and its biggest shortcoming is the historical projection of the technological generation gap. Soviet engineers focused on countering the Senior 71 Blackbird high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft and Tomahawk cruise missiles, but failed to anticipate the disruptive impact of drone clusters and stealth technology. Syria's actual combat has shown that the S-300's 360-6 radar has a detection range of less than 20 kilometers for low, slow and small targets, and its response time is only 90 seconds in the face of Turkey's TB2 drone, making it difficult to effectively intercept. More fatal is that its fixed-band radar is susceptible to electronic suppression. The United States as early as 1994 through Belarus to obtain the S-300 PMU-1 technical parameters, laying the foundation for subsequent targeted jamming. China in the introduction of the process of keenly capture these defects through the introduction, digestion, re-innovation, path to achieve technological leap. 1991 The first batch of S-300 PMU deployment in Beijing, the PLA synchronized to carry out radar signal characterization study, found that its 5 and 6 low-altitude blinding radar, there is a 20% probability of the blind zone. This directly spawned the development of the domestically produced JY-27 anti-stealth radar, which uses a meter wave band with adaptive frequency hopping technology to successfully lock onto the F-22 trail in the 2016 East China Sea standoff. More crucially, by reverse engineering the 4-8 and 6E missile propulsion system of the S-300, China broke through the cold launch vector control technology, laying the foundation for the Red Flag 9B to achieve a range of more than 200 kilometers. Modern air defense has evolved into a systemic confrontation in a complex electromagnetic environment. Russia's lessons in Ukraine show that the isolated deployment of the S-300 unit is extremely vulnerable to Starlink, satellite positioning and HAM, anti-radiation missiles. China has already planned for this. When it introduced the S-300 PMU-2 in 2004, it specifically requested the 83M6E2 command system to realize data fusion with the domestic JY-50 strategic early warning radar. This Russian platform plus Chinese brain transformation so that the battlefield survivability of the S-300 multiplied. 2019 Northwest of a base exercise, modified domestic quantum radar S-300 battalion, in the strong electromagnetic interference environment still maintains 85% of the target capture rate. Syria's experience further validates the need for systematic modification. When Israel used L-M 2080, Green Pine, radar to implement spectrum sensing, Syrian S-300 was repeatedly suppressed due to the lack of frequency shortcut capability. By introducing the 4, 8 and 6E2 missile of the S-300 PMU-2 and combining it with the self-developed SJ-212, a phased array radar, China has improved the system's anti-jamming capability by 300%, and it can process 120 target signals at the same time. This hardware hybrid strategy in the Turkish bidding revealed the sharpness, red flag, 9 export version of the FD-2000, using a combination of Russian launchers and domestic radar in the live fire test to reach 9.9 in the record, beating the S-400. The $3 billion S-300 procurement case is actually China's breakthrough in the technology blockade of geopolitical breakout. 1991 when the first order was signed, when the Gulf War demonstrated the power of modern airstrikes, and China's air defense is still the main force, is still red flag too, such as the response to the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft of the old system. Through the introduction of different models and 4 batches, China not only gained an air defense gradient covering 2,200 kilometers, but also mastered the core technology of tactical anti-missile, S-300 PMU-2, equipped with 4, 8 and 6E2 missiles with directional fragmentation combat units. The interception efficiency of ballistic missiles than the Patriot PAC-2 increased by 40%. These technological deposits provide key parameters for the subsequent development of the Red Flag 19 mid-course anti-missile system. Intellectual property disputes and military trade cooperation have instead fueled independent innovation. Russia's decision to suspend the sale of S-400 core technology due to China's imitation of the S-300 has forced China to accelerate the development of Red Flag 9B. 2016 when Iran turned to buy Red Flag 9, its terminal active radar guidance technology has surpassed the original S-300, which can complete the target allocation within 12 seconds, and anti-jamming capability has increased by 5 times. This forced innovation path will enable China to form a 3-tier anti-missile system consisting of the Red Flag 9C, S-400, and HQ-19 by 2024, realizing the leap from area air defense to strategic anti-missile. Facing the challenges of drone swarms and hypersonic weapons, the S-300 is nearing the limits of its physical performance, but China has injected new life into it through intelligent transformation. A department in the Eastern Theater of Operations deployed the S-300 PMU-2 in conjunction with the Dark Sword drone, utilizing the drone's forward reconnaissance to make up for a radar blind spot, shortening the system's response time to 8 seconds. More imaginative is the S-300 into the Intelligent Air Defense Cloud. 2024 Zhuhai Air Show display. Sky Network system can realize the S-300 Red Flag 22 laser anti-missile device multi-source data fusion. The use of AI algorithms to dynamically allocate interception tasks. This model of transformation is reconfiguring the value assessment system of traditional equipment. When Ukraine connects the S-300 radar to the NATO Aegis system, its target identification efficiency increased by 60%. China through quantum communication technology to transform the S-300 command link, the fidelity of information in the complex electromagnetic environment of 99.7% for the old equipment to give digital life. This kind of old platform plus new technology, integration and innovation may be the real strategic return on the $3 billion investment. It not only fills the capacity gap at a particular historical stage, but also fosters a systematic innovation capability beyond the equipment itself.